Acoustic phonetics. Acoustic phonetics is the study of sound transmission. It's the study of physical properties of sound, the properties which can be instrumentally studied, right? Acoustic phonetics has main concerns like the physical properties like how can we study sound physically, right? Like in phonology, the sounds are abstractions, right? But within acoustic phonetics, we are concerned with the major concept, which is based on the physical properties of sound. So physical properties and those properties which are involved in production and then in the perception of sound, right? Like when the sound is produced, what changes are taking place, right? How is the disbursement taking place, okay? And then when it is perceived, what happens in the inside the ear of the listener or even outside? So what are the processes and what physical properties are changing, right? In acoustics, most of the investigation is done with the help of software and with the help of instruments, okay? So there are instruments which are applied in order to investigate sounds like consonants and vowels. Various properties of consonants are studied, and similarly various properties of vowels are studied, okay? And then the movements of particles and articulators and their physical movements, that is also studied within acoustic phonetics. All right. Physical properties. Why physical properties? How physical properties? Because sound is treated within acoustic phonetics is a physical entity. A sound is basically the displacement of air particles within acoustic, right? So air particles are, when the sound is going, it is traveling in shape of a wave, right? In waving shape, right? So what happens within the air when sound is produced, right? So that's the subject matter of acoustic phonetics. And then we also discuss the voice source, that from where the energy is created and what's the nature of that energy, right? What is the speed of that energy and how it is going out, right? Okay, so speed and movement, the basic source and the energy required, and then the nature of that energy and the movement of that. Like for example, what sort of disturbance takes place within glottis when sounds like vowels and nasals and approximants are produced? And what is the difference among these sounds, okay? Nasals and approximants and vowels. So that's the subject matter within acoustics, that we can discuss the vocal tract, right? The glottis, and then the nature of processes which are involved for various sounds, right? Then we discuss the properties like amplitude, okay? Like the disbursement of particles from the source, from the center of that source, above and below it, and then the speed, that at which speed is the pressure or the air passage traveling. And then we also discuss the length of the wave, that how long it was, what was the distance of it, right? How long it traveled. Then we discuss other things like pitch, frequencies, harmonics of the sound, right? Like various frequencies are important for, speech recognition. That's an important subject within acoustic phonetics, that we are to synthesize and recognize speech sounds. And for that speech sounds, we are required to know frequencies and harmonics, right? So that's the subject matter of acoustics. And of course, there are various classifications through which these sounds are studied and their physical properties are investigated. All right, let me give you an example, which is of waveform, that how do we study waveforms within acoustics, right? There is a sentence which was recorded for this discussion, for showing you. All right. So this is, my two boys know how to fish. This is a sentence. My two boys know how to fish. You see? So there is n sound, n, and you see this consonant. The consonants which are marked here, red ones, these are consonants, okay? So you can just have a look at how are these consonants different than vowels. This waveform, this example shows that how it is different, because the vowels, they are dark and their frequencies are to some extent regular, right? And you can also see the length of vowels, that vowels have different sort of length. Like the O sound here, boy, oi. So it is a diphthong, okay? Diphthong. So you see, the length is also discussed. How is the length of the sound in terms of the difference between consonants and vowels. And then there are closure, and by closure, yes, we know that this is a stop. So the air passage is completely closed here. And you can also see that how the fricative sounds like sh, what sort of properties they have. Okay, so within acoustics, the point is that within acoustics, we study sounds with their physical properties for, distinguishing among sounds, and then also to study their various properties which are required for further descriptions. Then there is a question that why do we require to study such a description, required to study sounds through such description? And the answer is that it's for better sound description. We can describe the sound in detail while knowing each and every property of a specific sound, every feature of it, we can better understand it, okay? And that understanding is important in order to not only correlate with the acoustic gestures, acoustic correlates, but also with acoustic cues, right? So that's a basis for further research and investigation within phonetics and phonology, right? The scientific knowledge is required for further, machine investigation of sounds, and then also for recognition and synthesis of speech through computer. It's one of the important topics which is discussed within NLP, natural language processing, right? The students of computer, they know that how important NLP is and this speech synthesis and this speech recognition is. So that is done within acoustic phonetics. And of course, the data, when it is recorded, it is maintained and it can be visited again. So we record the data and then we can visit it again for further application, for further detailed investigation. And that's the subject matter of acoustics, that we are required to go through the physical properties of speech sounds.